Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. There's a brand new video. For those of you who don't know, there's a brand new video every 24 hours. We are currently in the midst of one of the weirdest bull cycles that has ever existed. I said before, I personally believe that prices should be a lot higher. I still think it's weird that prices are as low as they currently are with all of this news of accumulation. We have had a non-stop avalanche daily, and I know some days here on this channel there's not a lot of like accumulation news. It's because there are also other things happening. With a video a day, I don't want to have a 75-minute long video discussing the 9,000 things that took place, but what's happening right now, I think it's already gotten out of hand. And if you saw one of my other recent videos, I was discussing the idea that I assume it's out the window. I'm not expecting people to actually begin to pay attention. I know you watching, got it. Thank you. Hello. I know you're probably understanding and your brain is working, but I feel like that all this stuff happening is clearly because I think the US dollar is disappearing. I feel like economic policies are like hyper shifting in favor of crypto. But the fact that the wider public isn't paying attention to this, I mentioned before. I mean, I want 1 billion people in this market. If the prices are going to go up and these rich people are going to become richer, why not normal people also, having their slice of the pie? But that's quickly diminishing because the pie is being ravenously devoured right in front of us. A wealth management company by the name of Choreo, Choreo, just announced that they currently have $6.5 million worth of Bitcoin that they accumulated over the course of the last couple of weeks, with plans to accumulate more. For some reason, the article also mentions that they're currently managing $27 billion worth of assets. So one can only assume that a lot more money is going to move into Bitcoin in the relative near future. A lot of companies who announced earlier this year that they have aspirations of accumulating 10,000, 30,000, 200, and 10,000 Bitcoin are now hurrying and rushing and accumulating a lot more. Why, you might ask? Because as the price of Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Cardano, etc. continues to rise, they need more money to buy more. So they're all buying up as much as they possibly can, as quick as possible, so that there is none left on crypto exchanges. Because by the time Bitcoin goes to $1 million per coin, that's when I believe the general public is then going to pay attention. But at that point, it will literally be too late. You remember there was a big thing like 2 years ago where, and I don't know where it came from. A lot of people were asking online, or you would see news articles like, is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Is it too late to buy XRP? And I think and this was sometime last year, I made a video of it and I was like, no, the answer is no. Like we're just literally at the beginning of all of this. So we're going to get to a point where, and I'll say it this way and then we can move on. When Bitcoin goes to $1 million, this will literally mean that a large portion of the world's economy has kind of collapsed into the Bitcoin pool, and Bitcoin's doing just well. At $1 million, this would still mean, for those of you who don't know, like the Bitcoin maximalist idea, they think that Bitcoin's going to minimum $100 million. If you get to $1 million, it usually means that other people have kind of capitulated. They okay, cool. We have to throw our money into Bitcoin. That's why a lot of times when we keep getting these news stories of this real estate company who's like, we're going to put 50 million into Bitcoin. The other one who said $500 million. And for those of you who missed it, that other real estate company who said they're trying to sell off their homes to make $10 billion to buy Bitcoin. That's where we currently are. So this is why you're hearing all these crazy numbers. A company by the name of ABTC, I think it's the American Bitcoin Company. I think that's what the letters actually stand for. I think they are owned or a subsidiary of the company called HUT8, HUT8, recently announced that they have, because we all can do this on any given day of the year. They recently just purchased another 257 million US dollars worth of Bitcoin. It's becoming quite commonplace. And I don't know really where this came from. They were present before, but now it seems to be more of a thing. We're getting a lot of Bitcoin mining companies announcing purchases. The way that it worked before, for those of you who are unaware, is that Bitcoin mining companies mined Bitcoin. They usually weren't buying it. They would usually kind of just accumulate the coins over time. If you mined random number, if you mined 1,000 coins and you needed to sell 20 of those coins to pay for the electricity, these were the only coins that we were seeing actually re-entering or entering in general crypto exchanges. And then we got the news 2 years ago that a lot of these companies were actually had been cornered by a number of banks who were like, if you sell anything, we will buy it from you. That's the first bit of news that we were getting, that banks, not even institutions, that banks and central banks were like also actively buying Bitcoin. That news hit the street. No one seems to care, or rather very few people. I know I keep saying no one. I get it. I know you're here. Amazing. Golf clap. Thank you. But the other part is that I assumed, hearing in the news all this momentum, all this movement, who was buying. I told you I had a friend years ago. He thought crypto was like nothing. It's never going anywhere. And I sent him an article one time about PricewaterhouseCoopers and BlackRock and Fidelity and all these other, like we were getting rumors of them being in the space. And that did it for him. He understood those companies and that infrastructure. So I just assumed everyone knows what a bank is. Hearing that banks and central banks are buying it, and you start hearing like, governments, I just assumed that everyone would be like, whoa, and would get into the market. Nope. These people are going to buy up all the crypto right in front of our faces. So yes, they have randomly, wink, announced another $250 million just being thrown into Bitcoin. This is quite commonplace. We do not hear anymore of like, $500,000, $1.2 million. No, it's always gigantic numbers. And the other part was, as far as like mining companies, we used to only hear news about the mining. It sounds like a joke, but no, that's really what it was. And for some reason, the last 2 months, there's been a lot of mining companies who've either announced that they are exclusively going to Ethereum or that they're buying up enormous amounts of Bitcoin as well to their growing stash. So I would logically assume the number has to be 96. 97% of Bitcoin is now owned by these wealthy individuals. And I say wealthy because who the heck has $257 million laying around to buy anything? So, yes, my friends, this will continue. This is going to go on. My predictions for when there would be no Bitcoin left on exchanges was between the end of this year to summer of next year. That's like my... Yes, it's definitely going to take place kind of time frame, because a lot of these companies, they're buying all the time. This isn't a brand new company. This isn't someone who's like, I'm going to buy Bitcoin for the first time. No. They're all like still buying behind the scenes. It's just like some days these become more popular in the news. Right. Never forget how early you are in this market. Don't forget that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are not explicitly for the wealthy. They are for you and your family to become rich. Make sure that if these people become wealthier from crypto, that you also do the same to make sure that you never have to work again, because, you know, this market's for you and not for them. I hope you've all enjoyed. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Hope everyone's having an okay day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.